A little bit about myself. My early background in the late 90s, I started a company called the Magellan Group, which is a CRM software consulting company, which eventually got bought by PeopleSoft and then later by Oracle. During my time at Oracle, I got recruited or volunteered to be a part of the HIPAA compliance effort at Oracle. What happened is the government, U.S. government, changed the HIPAA rules to say that vendors were now liable for our customers' storage and protection of the health in accordance with the Healthcare Information Protection Act. So I spent a couple of years on that project and learned about DNA and how DNA is being stored and what it's being used. And out of that came EDNA. And I've been on EDNA for about 2 years, proving out the prototype and doing some of the work to get us ready. How EDNA is going to work. Normally I explain why you'd want DNA on the blockchain first, but today I'm going to reverse that, flip it around, and I'm going to talk about how we do it. So step one is you get a kit like this. We're working to make it available through Amazon or maybe even a local drugstore. But the important part to notice here is that the public name of your EOS account number, your ES account name is written on that vial. So when you ship it to us, that's all we know. We don't want a return address on the package. We don't want to know anything about you except that DNA and that bottle goes on the chain under that account. All right, so step two is we extract the DNA and turn it into data. We take the saliva that's been preserved, stick it and make it in data. At the top is the machine we have. At the bottom is the machine we want. And we'll talk about the token effort to raise money so that we have those machines at the bottom and can scale the operation in a second. All right, so you would take up 2 CDs of data if we turned your saliva, your DNA into a series of CATs and Gs. But there's a thing called the GRCH38, which is the human standard. It's not an average. It's what the most common DNA looks like. So you only vary from that in about 3 million places or about 5 megabytes. So we can shrink those 2 CDs of data down to just 5 megs. Once we've done that, we basically take all 3 million items where you vary, and we turn them each into a separate data entry so that these are just little minuscule tiny bits of data that say the variation at a molecular location and an ID. Now the IDs go into your wallet so you can retrieve your data. But if you look at the lower chart, before we actually put anything on the chain or store it anywhere, we're going to tumble it with 5,000 other people. That basically means 30 billion items of data all mixed in together like a puzzle, and you're the only one with the keys. So this is a CODIS chart. This is what government forensic databases, before you go to court, when they say, oh, we got your DNA at the scene, this is what they need to match. They need to match all 13 in order to go to court with it. And essentially, if you understand what you're looking at, those things are spread out all through the 3 billion pairs of DNA. And you will never find 2 next to each other, nor can they tie them together. That's how we keep your identity safe. Why do you want your identity safe? I'm going to let you read pause the video or whatever later on and read about it. But the big deal that you need to see is that the FDA is regulating basically what you get to know about your own DNA. They're now in the business not of only protecting your health, but protecting you from information. Well, why would they protect you from information? Basically, 1/3 of their drug their drug approval funding comes directly from big pharma fees. So it's sort of like the policeman taking bribes from the criminals. I'll let you look deep into that. The other thing is there are some problems out there, and it's becoming mainstream that your DNA data is being messed around with. All right, so why do I want to do it? Why do I want to do it? I like to tell the story this way. Let's suppose you had a rich grandfather and he dies, and you go to the reading of the will, and your sister gets a fleet of yachts and your brother gets a small country, and the lawyer comes to you and he says, well, Grandpa gave you this box. And you said, okay, well, it's locked. And what's in it? And turn to Grandma, what's in the box? And Grandma says, I don't know, but the key's on Grandpa's desk. Why don't you go home and get it? So you grab your box, you head outside, and there's a guy on the steps of the lawyer's office and says, hey, man, are you hungry? You want this pizza? I'll trade you this whole pizza right now for what's in that box. Are you going to do it? You don't even know what's in it. Now, you're doing no different when you hand your DNA over to somebody to learn how much Viking you are or something like that. Was for some little silly, stupid thing. What you're essentially doing is handing over something that all science knows only 1.5% of. So don't give it up. All right, so EDNA tokens, we're going to raise money. We need to expand. We're going to do it. You can read all this later, but recently, in the next days, maybe 2-3 days, we're going to actually open up a new contract that will allow you to stake your EDNAs, and we're going to pay you more EDNAs just to hold on to it until we get up to where the DAC takes control. This is important. The DAC gets 81% of our reserve 300 million EDNAs. There's $1 billion in the economy currently. So the pre-DAC, you make some tribbles, you make more EDNAs, and then when we get to the DAC, you're gonna have some ownership and some chances to invest. Here are the benefits of EDNA, and I'm almost done. I got one slide left. But if you wanna learn more, you wanna know what's in your box, subscribe today at EDNA, https://edna.life. Guaranteed privacy, DNA self-awareness, monetize your DNA, advanced genetic science, access to genetic counselors, access to biohackers if you want to change your DNA. And yes, you can. It's true. It's really happening right now today. Personalized medicine, save lives and end suffering, maybe even your own, 100% DAC owned. We're not centralized. We are not going to censor your data. We're going to let you know what's in it. Thank you.